Test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. I am going to get sunburnt at Popendetta Park. My forehead is going to be red as a tomato.
to the woodwork.
Yeah, come on.
Well, when the NPL New South Wales scriptwriters pitted Mount Druitt Town Rangers against NWS Spirit on the final day of season 2025, they could never have known just how much this match would mean. A crucial clash in the context of the relegation race. Well, perhaps they could have predicted that. But the coronation of one of the most incredible premiership wins in the history of this competition, who could have seen that coming? But that is the position that we find ourselves in on the final day. David Perkovic's team of plucky underdogs, now the plucky premiers. And they arrive at Popondetta Park for leg 2 of a premiership party that will see silverware lifted at the end of the day, regardless of results and against all odds. But while on one end of the equation it is spirit in the sky, on the other side, Mount Druitt find themselves stuck in the mire, rooted to the foot of the table. Points are simply a must if they are any shot at dodging the drop, with a Pro-Rel playoff looking their most likely route to an NPL New South Wales top flight future in 2026. Two teams who meet on the final day with starkly contrasting fortunes. Drama and silverware, the only likely certainties. What happens between then and now is up to the footballing gods, and it is the weather gods who have blessed us here at Popondetta Park this afternoon. The sun shining down on a resplendent pitch here in Sydney's West for a historic day for the NWS Spirit. Of course, confirming their premiership last week. They will lift it today at the full-time whistle against the Mount Druitt side, hoping that today is not a dark day in their history as they stare down the barrel of a return to League One for next season. They will have to pull something out of the hat today and hope the results their way go elsewhere. And it is the Town Rangers with the task who get things going on the final day of the season. Pleasure to have your company for this one, wherever you may be tuning in from. Lockie Flanagan on the call with you for this final day, which sees all of the weekend's action kick off at the same time. Of course, there will be no movement for Northwest Sydney Spirit at the top of the table. The only movement they'll have is the lifting of their arms to hoist the premiership trophy at the end of this game. But for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers and those watching on of a Town Rangers persuasion, they will have their eyes firmly affixed both on this game and on the one currently taking place in Lisserow, where the 14th place Central Coast Mariners host the Western Sydney Wanderers in 15th. So the result of that game will have a very big impact on what sort of cards Mount Druitt may have to play today. We'll run through the broader equation later on. A win is almost a must if they're going to give themselves a chance of avoiding an automatic drop. 3 changes for David Perkovic's premiers today. And there is just the one fly in the ointment on this incredible season so far, and it is the departure of their star striker, Yua Kubo, and his 18 goals for season 2025. The club announcing that they have accepted a transfer fee for the sale of his services to a club in Asia who will be playing continental football, so a massive opportunity for a player richly deserving in Yua Kubo on the basis of this season. But he played his final game for the club last week and went out with a bang, scoring a brace. Out of the 11 and out of the squad is Jamie Pachevsky. Frankie Lukovic has to contend himself with a place on the bench, with both of those players in potential yellow card trouble. So that's why David Perkovic has elected to play more carefully with them today. It's an initial swing and a miss from Ollie Wigan. And it's good pressure from Shaden Sampow that is going to allow the Town Rangers, or it looked as though it was going to allow the Town Rangers to attempt to lock that ball in the corner, but the final adjudication from referee Adrian Arndt is that one bounced out of play before it spun back, and the end result, a Spirit goal kick. Coming into their 11, Corey Kavanagh, a man who has been part of this Spirit journey out of the second division, winning the Waratah Cup, and now this incredible premiership victory. Joining him, two youngsters, Harry Keys, and just a second ever start for 17-year-old Charlie Broomhead. Here's Michael Conestabbo. He's down to the turf under the challenge of Caleb Jackson Brown, and Adrian Arndt quick to respond with his whistle. Mount Druitt really, after that disappointing defeat away to the Sutherland Sharks last week, have left themselves with little room to roam. It doesn't get easier with some of the absentees today. Tef, Bilal Belkadi and Yuto Morita all out of the side today. Replacing them, Shaden Sampow, Will Rankin, and the former Spirit junior, Abraham Majok. As the free kick is whisked in towards Cornwell at the back post, but it's Mount Druitt Town heads first to the football. Have already had our first goal over the final day, albeit not one of significant consequence, where Rockdale take the lead against their co-tenants at the Illingdon Sports Centre, Sydney FC. No consequence to the makeup of the final makeup of the table, but anyone who has paid attention to the form of Rockdale of late knows how important a final day win could be for them to find a positive before finals football. Brady Smith. It's well won by Mount Druitt in midfield. Jackson Brown trying to get it across for Abraham Majok. Is he returning from an offside position? The answer is no. Majok. Jared Massarola. It's a halfway pass, and it's easy pickings in the end for Chris Marks. That's the sort of fight that Ben Rollison will want to see from his side on this final day, as Keys is given one to chase and use the body legally in the eyes of the referee. But in the end, it's Danilo Monteiro, the Portuguese defender, who escapes the scene of danger with football at feet over the head of Thomas Lopez. Yuta Kimura couldn't make much of it and could only cleave through the back of Ollie Wigan. Apologetic palms displayed at Adrian Arndt by Yuta Kimura. For Spirit today, the result largely an afterthought, so much as the desire to lift this incredible piece of silverware at the full-time whistle. Having said that, though, speaking to David Perkovic during the week, there is a real consciousness of the 10-game unbeaten run that his Spirit side currently enjoy, and the desire to extend that winning feeling into finals. And Spirit, an exception to some of the other top 6 sides today in that they have largely named a full strength 11, but for a couple of exceptions. Majok able to pick that one off. Thomas Lopez, the runner on his left shoulder. Instead goes in the direction of Kimura, but nothing doing there. Niski, you see, wearing the cap this afternoon. The sun really beating down on the Popondetta Park surface today. Of course, failure to win today, failure to pick up a point today will consign the Town Rangers to League One football in 2026. So the first goal of this game is so important, particularly for a Town Rangers side who have now gone 2 full games without scoring. Gone goalless 15 times this season. And that goes some way to explaining why they find themselves in the position they currently occupy. Draw today doesn't do them much justice either, unless one of either the Mariners or the Wanderers have a massive win against their opponent, because then goal difference will become important. But the Town Rangers operating from a long way back in the field there. The bouncing ball just evades Stanich Floody. Sent in by Sampow. It's a flat delivery and comfortable in the end for Chris Marks. Today making his 61st consecutive Spirit appearance in the NPL. That's a roller. Lopez worked into the corner. That's a roller. Riding the challenge of Nicholas and setting free Majok, who had, in the end, straight offside. So, as we've been working our way through this equation, it does make clear that Mount Druitt practically do need to win. That is their most likely route, really, barring some astronomical scorelines at Plume Park, and one-sided ones at that. Their only route to the promotion relegation playoff, which of course got the better of them a couple of seasons ago as well. They win today. A draw at Plume Park means they're going to play the promotion relegation playoff, and the Wanderers would be relegated at their expense. The only way, by my maths, that sort of a win, that a win today could guarantee them safety, is if they found a way to beat Spirit somewhere in the vicinity of 7-0. Any win would get them pro-rel football regardless of who wins the other game. It would just change the automatically relegated team. Majok's going to put the ball out of play to allow Will Rankin to receive some attention. Hasn't missed a game for the Town Rangers this season. The young ex-Mariners youth. The Mariners themselves no stranger to that promotion relegation playoff. Really is wonderful weather for lifting silverware. be seen whether the sun will shine on the Town Rangers' fortunes. The fact that they have had to leave it to slim odds on the final day against the best team in this competition over a 30-game season says something about where it's all gone wrong. If they are to go down, today won't be the kind of days they look back on and blame, but started with some energy and intent. Harry Keys has found himself in a foot race with Stanic Floody. It's the latter of those two who wins out on this occasion. Big task as well, resting on the shoulders of young Harry Keys in the tail end of this both regular and upcoming postseason. Wigan, lovely pass forward. The cutback for Conestabro, not quite coming off from Andre Takami. They have known David Perkovic and his Spirit coaching staff about the potential departure of Iwakubo. There was a point at which he was going to leave far earlier, but wanted his commitment to see out this premiership push. And that has meant that Harry Keys has been training as a striker for some time. He'll be familiar with the position, but filling the boots of an 18-goal striker, big shoes to fill. Could be a chance here, though. Harry Keys goes to ground. Huge appeals, a big decision for Adrian Arndt. And it is a straight red. He's just confirming the player, Danilo Montero, is the guilty party. And that is not what the Town Rangers wanted to see early doors at Polpendetta. It's angle of legs between Harry Keys and the Portuguese. And that is really tough to take for Ben Rollison's side, who were already fighting against the weight of significant odds. And while the tangle of the legs was perhaps minimal, I think the referee team may well point to the arms that Danilo Montero had in and around the back of Harry Keys as the deciding factor on this occasion. And they already had a mountain to climb, the Town Rangers. And that mountain is starting to seem more Everest-like in its scale. A good moment nonetheless, though, for Harry Keys to show what he can do. Winning that free kick that's in a position of some promise, and for what remains of the game with 10 men. Here is Andre Takami. Oh, looks good off the boot. Niski wasn't going the same direction as the shot, and luckily for him it sails just wide of the post. But short of an early concession, not putting too fine a point in it, that is about as bitter a pill as the Town Rangers could hope to swallow on a day like today. Danilo Montero sent off just after the 10-minute mark, if you're late to join us, after a coming together between he and Spirit's stand-in striker Harry Keys. Now Wigan on the march. Crucial minutes in this matchup, because if Spirit find the opener now, the premiership party, you may say, would be kicking off fairly early. Corey Kavanagh, lovely exchange of pass between he and Conestabro, and the favour return, the cut back on, but no teammate found. Majok flicks it away to the top of the box. Is there an opening for a shot? The answer is no. There's been play drawn dead for an infringement in the lead-up. So a bit of a reprieve for the Town Rangers defence. Well, 1-0 with a man advantage wouldn't be a massive scoreline or an improbable position. Spirit's defence really has been that good this season. As many plaudits as they've received for their attacking play, their defence equal best in the comp alongside Marconi. Takami. Broomhead. Comes Corey Kavanagh with a beautiful turn and just wasn't quite on the same wavelength as Takumi Afuka that time. Takumi Afuka, who has been on an absolute tear in this back end of the season. 11 goal contributions in his last 9 games. To 13 goals and 5 assists this year. A massive factor behind Spirit's premiership push. Majok. Sort of a real test of character this for the Town Rangers. Needing to show some serious fighting spirit against the Spirit. Good commitment from Rankin. Reward for effort as he comes up with the football. Massarola, it was a risky first touch, but it's worked out to his advantage. Sampao now. Up against Stolly Wigan. Still going is the Town Rangers youngster. Jackson Brown. Stanish Floody. One of the raft of mid-season signings that Druitt made in the mid-season window. 9 games they've had to use their new charges now. And while there have been a definite improvement in performances, they have had some good wins and results against the likes of Blacktown and Wollongong. Haven't done quite as much or quite enough. Rankin. Feeds back to Rocco Pele. Another of that mid-season brigade coming across from Manly United. Returning to the club where he was a long-time junior, Mount Druitt. Simon Nicholas, Mr. Consistent in defence for Spirit. Lofting it over the top for Takumi Afuka. But well judged by Pele. It's the only outfielder, Simon Nicholas, to start every game of this premiership campaign for Spirit. As Conostarbo is given one to chase and does so wonderfully. It's Michael Conostarbo looking for a shooting angle and repelled really well by Dylan Niski. Does not need much of an invitation, Michael Conostarbo, as he searches for goal 16 of his NPL New South Wales campaign. Majok on the move. Up against Grant Cornwell. Two players who would be familiar to each other. Majok having broken through initially at Spirits back in 2014 when they were operating still under the Cleatsville Hornsby name. Actually scored, I believe, his first senior goal for the Spirit against Mount Druitt in June 2014. The early ball across. Michael Conestabbo! Oh, a sensational clearance by Stephen Stanic-Floody. Mount Druitt hanging on by a thread. Still danger though. Keys closing in. Going to the byline, cutting it back, but he'd run out of real estate already. And Michael Conestabbo with back-to-back chances to have his say on the game's opening goal. A lovely cross from the youngster Broomhead, only matched by the defensive effort of Stephen Stanic-Floody. Oh, that's a poor clearance from Niski. Keys is upended. And the free kick swiftly arriving after the challenge of Jared Massarola. Hasn't been in and around the goals so much today yet, Harry Keys, but he's certainly been in the wars. There's a lot of attention from the Town Rangers defenders. Breakout campaign for him, popping up with a couple of crucial goals since making his senior debut back in round 3 against RPL Leichhardt. It's Takumi Ifuka who's got the problem this time. Keys first popping on the scene in front of goals back in round 13 against the Wollongong Wolves in a 1-0 win, which was a very tight affair at Christie Park. Keys just found a moment of quality on a night that David Perkovic's side really needed it. And then he popped up once again a few weeks ago with that 90th minute match winner with his first touch against Sydney Olympic. And those 6 points that he's helped to win are the difference between this being a must-win game for Spirit if they wanted to win the premiership and a game where they will celebrate a premiership win regardless of results. And right now they're looking odds-on to get that job done too. They do, of course, have the man advantage. Danilo Montero sent off inside or just past the 10-minute mark. No score at Plume Park between the Mariners and the Wanderers. Which would mean automatic relegation for the Town Rangers. Will Rankin. Massarola. Being able to make those long passes stick at the moment. Corey Kavanagh. Yellow shirts close in from either direction, and Broomhead was full-blooded in his attempt to clear, albeit unsuccessful. Missed in the air by Ifuka. Brady Smith across to Grant Cornwell. Has been an NWS Spirit player basically as long as the club in its modern form has existed. And today is going to be such a magic moment for the captain to lift the trophy as it's lofted in behind for Harry Keys. The young gun gets it done. And Spirit pop the cork on the premiership party at Popondetta. He has big responsibility on his shoulders at the back end of this season, Harry Keys, but he has shown at Popondetta Park that he's capable of delivering. And the reigning premiers make their control count on the scoreboard.
That's the first goal of the game, going to Spirit. Mount Druitt Town Rangers 0, Spirit 1.
will be an absolute joy for Harry Keys. His third of the season. This one not quite as important as the ones that preceded it. But with the responsibility of replacing an 18-goal striker on your shoulders, that is a very good way to respond. And all of a sudden, things start to look a little dark, dim and lonely for the Town Rangers. And there's a long time left in this game. We've only played a little shy of a half hour's football. As we mentioned, Spirits 10 games unbeaten, just 8 goals conceded in that stretch, and laying claim to the best defence in this competition alongside Marconi. Druitt Town Rangers players asking the question of whether or not that was a foul by Grant Cornwell. Adrian Arndt unmoved. And what will be even more pleasing about that goal for Harry Keys in the eyes of David Perkovic was its lead up. Spirit knocking the ball around, trying one way then the other, and a delightful ball over the top from Andre Takami allowed Harry Keys to do the rest. He still had a bit of work to do in the physical battle with his defender, and then to find the angle for a finish, and really it was so composed from him in the end, slotting it past Niski, who went in the opposite direction of the shot. Cornwell away. No score still between the Mariners and the Wanderers. That will be a moot point if this result were to hold. Keys. Not quite turning all the way through. Adrian Arndt okay with what he's seen to this point, but now he is going to bring about a stoppage in the game, and a card for young Charlie Broomhead, just falling guilty of some youthful exuberance that time. It's another element of the strings to the bow of this title win for Spirit, that young players have played their part coming through the junior ranks. Broomhead and Harry Keys, two such names. Shaden Sampow bending this in, emphatically away by Charlie Nicholas. And Adrian Arndt has spotted something he didn't like in back play, so an easy one to deal with for Brady Smith. And here's an example of how fast life can come at you, Brady Smith. First half of last season in League One with Bankstown City. Now he will get his hands on at least one trophy in the top tier of this game, and he has been a regular starter in that campaign. Kavanagh just putting too much meat on it for Charlie Broomhead. Never a scenario you want to find yourself in as a player, this. Never a reality you want your side to find themselves in if you're a fan. A lot of things need to go right from this point. Stanic Floody. Harry Keys harassing and haranguing, and his pressure forces the turnover. It's been really impressive so far with this task laid down before him to replace Iwakubo. He is answering the call. Kavanagh, outstretched pass, a fantastic ball for Michael Conestabo. His touch just took him wide. And the defensive interventions, oh, it's getting a little bit feisty between Conestabo and Rocco Pele. Spirit getting everything done so far. Majoka's come in hot and heavy on Andre Takami. And Adrian Arndt did not take long to think about the resultant sanction. She would have gotten a reasonable ear into the breakdown of that foul and its subsequent reaction through our effects mic. It was a stone's throw from that challenge. Hopefully Andre Takami's scream won't haunt you for too much longer. It was pretty loud in my ears as well. I've seen a lot of those sorts of challenges in this game so far, and it's but a small window into the frustration that these Mount Druitt players must be carrying around. Well, they're good sunny conditions for watching football. They're probably tougher conditions to play in. The sun really is beating down. Jackson Brown, Majok couldn't control. Pele. Rankin rewards the run of Morita. He was able to get it around the outstretched legs of Smith. Oh, that was half a cross, half a shot, half a chance of a stunning equaliser. Even though right now it is feeling like it might matter for naught, Yuta Kimura has really been a shrewd mid-season acquisition. Popped up with a couple of goals across his 7 starts since signing from the club he was playing for in Mongolia. It's quite the swap, Mongolia from Mount Druitt. Picked off by Majok. To no use of Ben Rollison's side. Brady Smith. To see at least that Mount Druitt really are still bringing a firm press and trying to put Spirit under the cosh in possession. The problem is those second balls. Spirit are gobbling up so many of them, and they've got the killer passes to go with it. Keys falling victim to the commentator's curse, talking about killer passes. That one he would definitely like to have again. Side who have barely coughed up a lead all season, Spirit. Right now looking more likely to add to their advantage. They did, of course, run out 5-0 winners when these two met in the reverse fixture. And they are playing some really good football at the moment, even though the Mount Druitt defender that time in Caleb Jackson Brown could get his body in the way. Michael Conestabile bagging a brace in that aforementioned 5-0 win on the score sheet alongside Takumi Afuka, Kaya Williams and the now Sydney United striker Marko Arambasic. Every chance they could see their former reserve striker in the final series. Sent in by Sam Powell. Lopez well positioned, but Cornwell in an even better spot. Stephen Stanich-Floody, did he tunnel his opponent? Well, it's he who has come off second best, and Adrian Arndt will bring about a stoppage. Hopefully this is none too serious for Stephen Stanich-Floody. Sort of work his way under the ball and under his opponent in an attempt to challenge in the air. I just wonder if maybe his head might have been collected on the way down. May not be alone in this regard, but would definitely not be the way that anyone would want to end season 2025, or any season for that matter, with an untimely injury. So it's just going to afford both sides a quasi-drinks break. Drinks break that is more than necessary. This time on the Spirit bench, the drinks are going into the mouths of the players as opposed to onto the head of David Perkovic as they were last week. Getting himself on the end of the customary post-premiership Gatorade shower on the occasion of the full-time whistle last week, and were very impressive, albeit against the Mariners side they should be beating last week. Playing some fantastic football, and that Michael Conestabile goal that really ensured the result was just a goal that summed up everything that this team are about and everything that has made them so good this season. It was really pure passing football in the lead-up, headlined by a back heel from Frankie Lukovic, and then Conestabile put the exclamation point on it with a fine finish. And it's certainly getting plenty of plaudits in the state of New South Wales, this Spirit Premiership victory. Perhaps it does deserve more recognition beyond the borders. Because for those of you who may be watching outside of the great state of New South Wales, this is a Spirit side who haven't just bucked expectation and mixed it with the giants of this competition. This is a Spirit side who were only promoted into the competition a couple of seasons ago and had walked into 2025 with back-to-back 11th place finishes. It's a 10-place jump to a premiership secured before the final day. Wigan studs it to Conestabile. Cornwell getting himself involved now. Going on a bit of a march across the field. Nicholas. Wide for Broomhead. Takumi Afuka looking to do it all himself, the Japanese flyer. And just doing too much in the end. The excellent issue for Mount Druitt is that Well, they have, by and large, been able to repel some of the Spirit threat. You can only clear it for distance. As it's launched forward in the Keys direction, he was able to clutch it, but Massarola winning the physical battle well. And then copping a falcon for his efforts in the opposite direction. Corey Kavanagh. We talk about Spirit's unlikely rise from the second tier to the top of the pile in the top flight. Corey Kavanagh is one of those players who has been along for every step of the journey. One of 4 players who was in the squad when Spirit won the Waratah Cup in that 2022 promotion season against Sydney United. Nicky Conestabo, Grant Cornwell, just a handful of the others who have stepped through that pathway. Chris Marks, of course, the other in goals. So, put their rapid rise into perspective. They win today, they will end the season on 69 points, 21 wins, which will be just a handful of points short of the amount they've accumulated over the last 2 seasons combined. And the same amount of wins. As Mount Druitt are building something nicely in the opposite direction, but Majok couldn't work it through the feet of a Spirit defender. It will go out for a corner, and that will allow Adrian Arndt just to halt proceedings for the moment so that Andre Takami can receive some defensive attention. It's been another who's really added a extra gear when required to this Spirit team in the back end. Returning to NPL New South Wales in the mid-season window from Olympic FC in Queensland. And as a result of his assist for the opener today, has helped himself to 5 assists in just 10 games. It's not bad going whatsoever. Corner duties for the Town Rangers here. Majok was lurking with intent, but Spirit again get their heads in the way. Recycled by Jackson Brown, and Marks judged that situation really well, because if he was misaligned in his readings of the situation, Druitt Town Rangers could have been tapping into an empty net for an equaliser. Into stoppage time minutes of a stop-start first half. Everything has come up NWS Spirit so far. They end the first 45 with some extra sweetness, or are the Town Rangers going to throw up a surprise? Massarola. Majok has been industrious, but has worked under the football that time. Wigan away, only as far as Thomas Lopez. It's a bit scrappy just in front of Spirit's defensive penalty area. Majok loses out. Afuka darts the eyes up, receives the contact from behind, and the whistle is swift. And without hesitation from Adrian Arndt, Jared Massarola has thrown his body about so far this afternoon. And there's probably been, Massarola, one of the bright spots in a tough season for the Town Rangers. He and Caleb Jackson Brown as well have really caught the eye. Keys this time is guilty of tunnelling his opposition marker. Miski a long way out of his goal as the Town Rangers look to build something against the flow. Stanic Floody. Again, it's another listless long ball. Doesn't really work to the advantage. By comparison, the passing is so purposeful from Spirit in the opposite direction. And so is the intent to win back the football. The back heel, though, from Keys, perhaps not the right option. Marjock on the move. Sampow in supports. And top to Lopez. And the football was just too hot as they exchanged passes. And Lopez, in the end, kept it alive for Spirit to break. And it's Afuka isolated with his defender. Can he dazzle us again? Takumi Afuka trying to open up an opportunity, but is defended well in the end by Jared Massarola. Or rather, Rocco Pele on that occasion. And he's told to get up by the ex-Manly man. He's a feisty customer, a 20-year-old. Is there a chance for one final attack for either of these two sides? An equalising goal would improve Mount Druitt's slim odds. A second would leave them drawing dead. Ollie Wigan sets his sights towards the Mount Druitt penalty area. Wigan, a flat cross, collected by Afuka at the back post, and then in comes Pele to rid the danger. But to no available from Michael Conestabo. Marjock into space for Will Rankin, but Yuta Kimura again can't reach the hopeful ball forward. To do a lot of dog work today. And Keys is just straight offside. He's run that line really nicely. He is going to face off with tougher defences than Town Rangers backline, who have now conceded 60 this season. But all the signs are positive for the youngster, and all the signs are positive that this will be an upbeat premiership party for the travelling NWS Spirit. That is a world away from the position that the Town Rangers find themselves after 45 minutes played at Popondetta Park. It got off to a rocky start. Danilo Montero given his marching orders after a coming together with he and Harry Keys just past the 10-minute mark. And it was Keys who was the central character of the opening 45. He created the opportunity that got the Druitt defender sent off, and then he opened the scoring after a classy Spirit move, the kind that we've come to expect of the Premiers. And it is a series of events that leaves Spirit smiling, but leaves the Mount Druitt Town Rangers with, well, it was a rescue mission when they arrived at Popondetta Park. It's now a Herculean task. Whether or not they can do it, or whether or not the good times will keep on rolling for Spirit, we will find out on the other side of the break. But at half-time in Sydney's West from Popondetta Park, it's Mount Druitt Town Rangers 0, NWS Spirit 1. 45 minutes left of the NPL New South Wales regular season. 45 minutes between NWS Spirits and the chance to lift their first ever top flight premiership. 45 minutes left for Mount Druitt Town Rangers to potentially save their season. 1-0 they trail. They're a man down as well. And they will need to pull off an almighty turnaround if they are to give themselves a chance of steering their way to the Pro Rel playoff. A difficult job got trickier on the 13th minute mark after their Portuguese defender Danilo Monteiro was sent off. And then it was never a molehill, it was always a mountain. And it got even steep with the climb when Harry Keys opened the scoring just before the 30th minute to get us to where we are now and to leave the Town Rangers with lots to do if they are going to give themselves a chance of fighting for top flight football in 2026. But from a Spirit perspective, it has been everything they would hoped it'd be and more. They're in the ascendancy, they have been the better side, they've created plenty of chances. And they will look to flex their muscle in the second half. They have made at least one half-time substitution from the look of things. Zayn Alawalia has made his way onto the field of play. Looks as though that might have been... Actually, have to just double-check who the departing player is. It might well be the number 16 of teenager Charlie Broomhead. So like-for-like position swap, because that's where Broomhead was occupying, that fullback space on the left-hand side of the three. Alawalia's natural position, and an easy entrance into the game for him. For those who weren't with us in the first half, we've done a whip through of the major events of the opening 45, but we will restate the equation, which is that the Mount Druitt Town Rangers basically must win today to give themselves a chance of getting into the promotion relegation playoff. Of course, the two teams ahead of them, Mariners and the Wanderers, playing on the final day out at Plume Park, and only a gargantuan win for one of those two sides would give the Town Rangers a chance if they drew today by a goal difference. Ollie Wigan is a man on a mission and feeding it across to Takami. Back with Wigan. Alawalia getting involved now, the substitute. Patient play at the top of the penalty area. We've seen this script before from Spirit. Corey Kavanagh trying his best to keep that alive, and eventually it comes to an end. And the steam coming out of the attack at the feet of Dylan Niski, who actually hasn't had a great deal of work to do so far today. He's saved one stinging drive from Michael Conestabo, but the other chances that Spirit have created have either been the opening goal of the game or one that required a clearance off the line from Stephen Stanich-Floody, also courtesy of Conestabo, that one. They have maybe lacked in quantity of chances so far. They have made up for in quality. And there's no doubt that this side are quality. Jackson Brown upending Conestabo. Adrian Arndt quick to respond with the whistle. Wigan. Fenced across a few times, finds support in the form of Corey Kavanagh, whose angle pass comes to naught. It's pumped away by Sampow, and this has been the problem for Mount Druitt today. Of course, it's not easy. They're under no illusions the difficulty it is to play against this 10-man, or with 10 men, against the 10-game undefeated Spirit side. And you need something, but time and again, those long balls out of defence have not been able to find a teammate or an attacking opportunity. This might be a chance to change that from the free kick. It's still a fair way out from home, but they have got some likely options in their 11. Owing to some of their absentees today, it's a fairly youthful bench, so I imagine Ben Rollison will really have to put his faith in the majority in the team he's got out there on the park. And we've mentioned the importance, or potential importance, of the Mariners game to this one. That clash between they and the Wanderers still locked at 0-0. 55 minutes gone at Plume Park. So that would be Wanderers in the Pro-Rel playoff, I believe, against SD Raiders. And Mount Druitt's heading back to League One after returning at the start of this season. There's the time to call on a miracle. Now would be that time, and they're looking for Thomas Lopez to do exactly that, and he has done! Sensational free kick from Thomas Lopez. And there is hope at last for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Game on at Pobondetta Park. What a sensational hit from Thomas Lopez. They need a miracle. They've gotten a miracle goal. And they are still a man down, but they have a foothold. And it is a slight wrinkle in the premiership party for the top flight table toppers. What a free kick from Thomas Lopez. That was just brilliant. You could not hit that any better in that situation. Knuckleball past Chris Marks. It is one you'll want to watch over and over again. And if they are to go down, it will be quite the silver lining for Thomas Lopez. But how did Mount Druitt respond now? The ball bent in by Majock is easily dealt with by Chris Marks. Well, we talked about the Spirit making up for in quality what they've lacked in quantity of attacking chances. Well, Mount Druitt have barely had a shot all day. They have certainly done that themselves in their own right. And that third goal of the season means that Thomas Lopez joins the four-way tie now atop Mount Druitt's top scorers list, alongside Caleb Jackson-Brown, Johnny Azar, and Pedrinho, if you remember his Brazilian brilliance at the front end of this year. How do the Premiers respond here? They search for Harry Keys. Rocco Pele launches long. Thomas Lopez missed it in midair, and in comes Brady Smith. It's tempestuous at the moment. Cornwell, the last man back, and Spirit's captain, fantastic, getting the job done. Loose ball, though. Well turned by Majock, and Zayn Alawalia will avoid a cautionary card despite the protestations of the Town Rangers bench. And all of a sudden, it is a bench upon which there is belief. And it has to be said that as these two sides headed to the sheds after 45 minutes, that was not looking a likely outcome. As Lopez lofts it this time, and this one is far more comfortable for Chris Marks. Who is probably still stunned at that free kick that whizzed past his head. The issue is, for the Town Rangers, a draw really is not enough. The only ways that a draw could steer them clear of automatic relegation would be if the Mariners beat the Wanderers by a scoreline of 13-0, or if the Wanderers could beat the Mariners by a scoreline of 7-0. So they are still fighting against the weight of considerable odds, but they have got a platform upon which they could build. And it remains goalless between the Mariners and the Wanderers in Lisseroe. You would anticipate this Spirit side will have a few more pushes in them in this game at least. Because while Mount Druitt's bench is a youthful one, there are still fairly strong options for David Perkovic should he choose to use them. Walk-up starter Frankie Lukovic, one such option, although he is, of course, on his 4th yellow card. Jacob Chidiak, Austin Oates. And one of the other options would be a potential debutant in Jeff Keynes, the 18-year-old. They are a very good second half side, though, Spirit, known for their late heroics. Lopez feeding it across for Sampao. Cornwell for company. Stanic Floody trying to make the run into space. And he'll end up with the ball eventually, will young Stanic Floody, but can only find the on-rushing defensive coverage of Andre Takami. Sampao goes to ground. A whistle not forthcoming. And now it arrives, albeit belatedly in the eyes of the Town Rangers. Harry Keys going toe-to-toe with Rocco Pele, the first half goal scorer, young Keys. If they were to turn this one around, the Town Rangers, they not only would be doing the previously unthinkable, but they would be arresting an absolutely wretched run that they've had over the years against Spirit at Poppenzetter Park, as Thomas Lopez fires early and misfires in truth. Went through the history books in the lead up to this game, and while the head-to-head record since 2005 is fairly competitive, Spirit with 13 wins to the Town Rangers 7, it's here at Poppenzetter Park where Spirit have been utterly dominant. On 6 of the 10 games these two have played in league competition in 20 years. And the Town Rangers have not beaten Spirit at Poppenzetter Park, by my mathematics, since March 2006. So some 19 years. It's the kind of history they are fighting against today. It was back when the Spirit was still Gladesville United. The Town Rangers are showing some serious fight. That was well judged, though, by Smith, and he earns a free kick for his efforts. And 23 times all told since 05. And the only constant through those years has been Grant Cornwell. Did score in this fixture back in 2018, subby Corey Kavanagh. Here is Grant Cornwell. Marauding forward, standing it up, but there is really no one home to meet the cross. And Spirit are just getting a little bit mixed up and off colour by their own lofty standards in the last couple of minutes. That free kick and equalising goal has really disrupted their flow. This is not a side who so easily find themselves flustered either. It's one of the things that's been so impressive this season is how they've responded to adversity. Things were looking very precarious after that unexpected loss to St George City a couple of months ago, yet here we are 10 games later, and Spirit have not lost since, and smashed Rockdale and Marconi to the tune of 6-3 and 5-0 in the process. The pivotal weeks of a season that even David Perkovich couldn't quite believe has unfolded the way that it has. They were pegged back by a free kick early into this second half. Is this a chance for Spirit to break back? No, because Niski has sailed through the afternoon air to collect. And Adrian Arndt is just taking this opportunity to chat to the former Spirit junior, Abraham Majok. Sampao was first to the football ahead of Cornwell, and the captain courageous of the Spirit is going to see himself in the referee's book. He is not the first player, nor will he be, you would imagine, the last to be sanctioned this afternoon. Just lost out in the foot race with Sampao, and left Adrian Arndt with little alternative by way of choice. Still goalless between the Mariners and the Wanderers, which would be of no help whatsoever to the Town Rangers. Unless rising header at the back post is saved by Marks. A few gone up in expectation. In the Popondetta Park grandstand, it was Rocco Pele who rose highest. Could only direct his header into the arms of a confident Chris Marks. Spirit will get themselves a 6 to 7 day break before finals. The elimination finals will be taking place in midweek in season 2025, which as things stand would see Rockdale host Blacktown and Marconi take on Sydney United. And Spirit to play the lowest ranked winner of that pack. With 27 minutes left for this 10-men Mount Druitt Town Rangers outfit to salvage something from season 2025. They've got to keep the Premiers at bay in the opposite direction. And they'll be coughing up a set piece this time around, and you know how well Spirit close out their fixtures. Scored 16 goals in the final 15 minutes of games this year. Many of those have helped secure them valuable points and salvage results that will allow you to lift silverware at the end of a 30-game season. Cornwell, he's, of course, on that card now. Ollie Wigan. It's been great to see him back from injury in the second half of this campaign. And now Corey Kavanagh looks to bend the ball in. It is a tantalising delivery too, but it is a Town Rangers defender whose foot is first to the ball. And Adrian Art not liking some of the overzealous attacking intent from the Spirit players. Challenge for the Town Rangers here is that whatever way this season is to pan out, one of the key deficiencies that they'll identify in the post-mortem is their attacking struggles. Only 24 goals this season. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to score twice. And they've done that just 7 times this year. Spirit will have to be kept quiet too, and they are starting to regain their Premier's confidence as Wigan drives past Sampao, and Niski collects well in the face of some real zeal from Andre Takami at the back post. He's made a lot of saves today, Dylan Niski, but he's been a busy boy in 2025. He's made more saves than any keeper going into this afternoon, which was exactly the position he found himself in 2023, making the most saves in the league. The Town Rangers still holding out hope of a better outcome than that particular year. They were rolled by St George in the two-legged Pro Rail playoff. This time it'll be SD Raiders hoping to make the ascent alongside UNSW. It's not the best of goal kicks, and that is putting it lightly from Niski. Afuka collecting the ball, collecting no shortage of contact, and Will Rankin, well, he will still lip off at the referee, but I'm not sure how many complaints he's entitled to after an altercation like that. And you just get the feeling that Spirit are slowly but surely getting the clamps back on this game, as you would expect against a team who have been defending with 10 for the better part of 50 minutes. Here comes the set piece. Cornwell is lurking. It won't reach him. An important header in the lead up from Pele. Still no subs made in this game since the halftime introduction of that man, Zayn Alawalia. Majok. Marita over his shoulder, the pass just lacking the required purchase. And Marks can launch that one out towards the grandstand. Rankin setting a task for Majok. Alawalia, well, up rather than away, and so Sampao will look to make himself a nuisance against Grant Cornwell. And he does enough on the first instance and on the second to keep it a Town Rangers ball. Stanic Floody whisked it to the top of the penalty area where Lopez control was clean. Sampao flicking to Stanic Floody. Is there another opportunity? Oh, Majok was in the perfect position, but for the header. Spirit's defence standing firm at the moment. How many pushes did the Town Rangers have left in them? Cornwell goes down. Well, there's a literal push left in by Shaden Sampao that time. Harry Key's given one to chase. Niski will make it there first and clear it onto the pitch 2 at Popondetta Park, where the women's sides are warming up for the second half of a doubleheader. Cornwell looked to be shaping for a long throw, has opted against. Instead, picks out Alawalia. Penny for the thoughts of Ben Rollison right now, Town Rangers head coach. At what point does he instruct his side to really go hell for leather at this one? Massarola striding forward, body to body with Harry Keys, and much to the chagrin of the Popondetta Park faithful, no whistle arrives. And then again, both sets of benches up in arms. Majock hits to the turf, and this time a free kick is on the way, and it's on the way for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Substitutes had, to this point of the game, been scant in their numbers, but it looks as though David Perkovic is going to inject some fresh legs into his side. Jacob Chidiak getting ready to come on for a 23rd and final appearance of the regular season. Of course, we may well see him in the final series as well. And this is not a sight that Chris Marks will want to see. Thomas Lopez back on free kick duties, bending in a nice one. Lopez heads it across the goal, and here is Pele! Well, those are the chances that can make or break a rescue mission. And when the gauntlet was laid down to Rocco Pele, he fired wide. And is that one that will come back to haunt the Town Rangers? He was free as a bird at the back stick. He's a man who hasn't found the back of the net in this competition in over 400 days, and dare I say it, he attacked that chance like someone who hasn't scored in that amount of time. It's getting a little messy though. Spirit, they're not closing out this game in the way David Perkovic would otherwise have hoped. Remember, they have intentionally not rested largely in this game. They want to keep up their 10 and, as things stand, 11-game unbeaten run going into finals. Druitt really fighting for this one now. Watching the long throw. Lopez flicks on and out for a Chris Marks goal kick. Jacob Chidiak has come on to replace Harry Keys, who will be very happy with his personal performance today. Prompted a bit of a reshuffle though. Ollie Wiggin is going to play through the centre now. Cornwell with a low percentage flick, but one that was made to work. A beautiful feint. Chidiak back to Alawalia. Kavanagh has really made things tick in that central position today. Nearly fell victim to the commentator's curse, but now the Spirit have got space and numbers to work with, but Andre Takami finds himself in an offside position, and that will allow Adrian Arndt just to return to the previous infringement where Stephen Stanich-Floody, not for the first time today, He is on the turf and looks in some pretty severe discomfort here. The body language of his teammate Thomas Lopez didn't tell the most promising of tales. Foddy is going to have to be knocked off the field here. And that is going to be the end of the day for him. That's a real bitter pill to swallow. Alex Trajanowski, his replacement. Fuka. He's taken off his toes by Sam Powell. Rankin. Jackson Brown. Ball is an awkward one for the Spirit defence. Actually away by Kavanagh. To be launching it long. In the end, that hasn't happened. Play a square in the face, and once again, they will stop. Inside the final 10 minutes we go. And the last chance saloon for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers in season 2025. And the big news is elsewhere, where the Wanderers have, in case you missed it earlier, taken the lead at Plume Park. So that is of very little use for the Town Rangers. There's another player on the turf in the centre circle. Takumi Afuka this time. Mount Druitt would still be going down as a result of a Wanderers win. Playoff against the SD Raiders. Of course, a position that the Mariners found themselves in and previously survived in seasons gone by. But if the Town Rangers could find a winner in the final 10, a leading scoreline at Plume Park means that the Town Rangers would be headed for the Pro Rail playoff. And I don't know if that news has made its way to Ben Rollison and his bench, but given there is only 10 minutes left to go, they probably knew they needed to win this game to give them any chance regardless, but perhaps that message should filter its way down. 10 minutes to save a season at Popondetta Park. They faced a stern task against the Premier's NWS Spirit, and they have responded well. This is not looking good, though, for Brady Smith, who went at full stretch trying to keep that in play and just hit the turf straight away after re-entering the field of play. Very much hoping, David Perkovich, that they could get through this game unscathed, and a member of this Spirit defence that has largely been rock solid is not one they would want to lose, but it looks as though that, well, for at least what remains of this game today, they are going to. Physio has signalled for the substitution, and it will be, from the look of things, forthcoming over on that Spirit bench. I think it'll be game is he going to be entering into, though, because here come the Town Rangers. Trajanovski forward. Vasilio Majok had a swing and a miss. The second chance. Lopez has got it in the back of the net, but it will count for naught. And those mending hearts have just broken again. Who stroked the ball into an empty net, only for Adrian Arndt to pull it back for an earlier infringement. And these are how fine the margins sits on this final day clash, which, well, at half-time, when Spirit went into the break, 1 goal to the good courtesy of Harry Keys, and a man up from the 15th minute onwards, you would not have anticipated that this would end as such a contest. And yet here are the Town Rangers. A second goal, a winner, could not save them from relegation, but could give them a fighting chance through the Pro Rel playoff. Failure to do that in the next 6 minutes, and it is sayonara to the top flight of New South Wales football. Every pass so important. Yuta Kimura is twisting and turning, but just losing out to the weight of Spirit defensive numbers. That is getting into deep into Spirit time here as well. 16 goals scored in the final 15 minutes of games. They are such a lethal side in the clutch, the Premiers. The Town Rangers have to give them a taste of their own medicine. Away by Kavanagh. And all of a sudden, it is the cellar dwellers who have the table toppers hemmed into their own half, and now things are getting a little bit ugly between Conestabo and Majok. And there are players coming from all directions here. Adrian Arndt has just got to head this one off at the pass, lest it get to be too great of a boil over. Even Dylan Niski has marched his way up from the goal line to have a say. And probably making the point to his underlings, the Town Rangers captain, just not to lose your head in this crucial part of the game. Don't concern yourself with the niff-naff of Biffo. There is a job to be done here at Popondetta, and they are one goal away from potentially doing the job they set out to achieve. Huge responsibility on the shoulders of young Shaden Sampow from this free kick delivery. No shortage of yellow shirts to aim at. He bends it in nicely. Majok lurking, but the bounce favoured Chris Marks. And more valuable seconds. Chew away. Wigan over the top. Conestabo, could he kill it dead here? It's Michael Conestabo across for Afuka. Superb save. The chance still alive though through Chidiak, and eventually Niski gathers. And the captain has come up huge for his side in the dying embers. Flick back towards goal. Marks had to backtrack and was always advantaged in that contest with the onrushing Thomas Lopez. What a super save from Dylan Niski. You would have expected Takumi Afuka on the end of the cutback to seal that one up. And Spirit could still. Afuka the man on the move. Wigan trying a fancy turn. And now Lopez again given one to chase. Marks bends it away and is off his line as Kimura goes from long range, but Marks is going to gather it. Oh, if it had a bit more oomph on it, that could have been a real threat to a man well off his line in Chris Marks. And we talked about Thomas Lopez's goal being a miracle strike. Oh, that would have been otherworldly. You'd imagine there'll still be plenty of stoppage time, but that would be a moot point if the Spirit can score. They won't do it through Ollie Wigan that time. And the Town Rangers live to fight another day as they start to throw more numbers forward. Majok takes it off the toes of Nicholas, who barges into the back of the Town Rangers attacker. And a free kick in a really intriguing position, this, in the dying embers of this game. The Wanderers have gone 2 to the good at Plume Park, so that result, you would imagine, is all but certain. Which means that the only way that the Town Rangers can save themselves is if they win this one. It can be won in chances like this. It's bent into the box at the back post. It's alive for Yuta Kimura, who fires into the side netting. And you can't help but wonder, Pele blazing away, Kimura misfiring. How many more chances are the Town Rangers going to get to find the goal that would keep their top flight future alive? The good thing, you would imagine, we've had a lot of stoppage in this game. You would imagine there'll be a healthy chunk of added time injected into this game by Jackson Mackey, the fourth official. Scored more goals in the final 15 than any other time the Town Rangers have even though they have been few and far between. It's 5 minutes. It's maybe not as much as they would have liked, but it is time enough. It's time working against them. Pele wide for Lopez. Stopping and propping and returning to Massarola, who's been robbed of the football. And Kavanagh just plays the percentage pass for Wigan, but it was really well judged by Pele. He's got to be careful here. Kavanagh has closed in and bowled him clean over. And so Niski will launch this deep free kick long and just into the mixer. Well, it looked as though this was a final day of season 2025 that was a mere formality, but there is drama abound at Popondetta Park. Jackson Brown. Thomas Lopez with a ho-hum pass. And Connor Starbo just stops and props and waits for the run of Takumi Afuka to arrive. And the referee has whistled against him. Niski has got to be careful because that was very solid contact indeed, although the play was dead. And it's another Spirit scare survived by the Town Rangers. And all of a sudden, the league's best team over 30 weeks are holding on for a point at Popondetta. Connor Starbo. Druitt Town Rangers with one man back, and now the black and blue shirts march forward to put the dagger in the heart of the Town Rangers, but Afuka can't make the pass happen. Kimura. Jared Massarola being urged on by the Popondetta Park grandstand, and Adrian Arndt gives Michael Conostarbo a card. And he has already been booked. This is not going to be... This is a nightmare scenario, this, for David Perkovic, because they're going to have to close this game out a man down, and they will miss one of their key attacking contributors in the first week of their finals campaign. It's a controversial one because both players flew in full-blooded. But Adrian Arndt's final decision was that Michael Conostarbo was the guilty party. And once he has had his injury treatment, he's going to have to hobble his way off the field. And up Conostarbo comes, and off he goes. So a real sour note to end things on for the Spirit, because that is a big headache, if not for today, then certainly for the postseason for David Perkovic. And now we turn our attention back to this game here, because in terms of numbers on the field, it's 10 v 10. And Mount Druitt have got the advantage and the impetus. Do they have the belief, and will they find the goal? That's the question. Conostarbo not in any particular hurry. It's finished at Plume. The Wanderers have won 3-0. Cornwell wins it, as you would expect their captain to do. And Jackson Brown just runs out of real estate. As we're inside the 4th minute of stoppage, you would imagine we'll get added time on added time, though, after that Conostarbo red card. They've left their season to the long throw. Chidiac can't clear. Majok with a half-hearted flick inside, and then Jackson Brown. Did that come off an arm? No whistle from Adrian Arndt. Anywhere will do from the Spirit defence. Niski. Delicate pass over the top. Shaden Sampow with plenty of yellow shirts to aim at. The delivery is a bit betwixt and between, and Marks gathers with comfort. And the ball's in the back of the net again, but it's because Chris Marks has been infringed upon by a Town Rangers player. They feel the Spirit 10 that a card should have been arriving, but none is brandished. It is in the generosity of the referee and the fate of the football gods now for the Town Rangers. Marjock flicks on. Cornwell with another clearing header. And that fresh air swing, a costly one. Kavanagh bent forward by Takami to Afuka. This would be the cruelest of ways to end it if Spirit win this. And it sits up for Jacob Chidiac, but it's an important block from the Town Rangers defence. They're fighting against the weight of numbers in attack, though. Vasiliou. Hopeful for Lopez, who misses it in the air. Spirit numbers getting behind the ball. Kimura. Majok now. Back to Yuta Kimura, who hits the deck. It's messy in the penalty area. Spirit come away with the football. Is this their ceiling chance? Afuka. Wigan clears the space. Chidiac again is found at the back post. And again, Trajanowski comes up with it, but it'll count for naught. As it ends in heartbreak for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. They left everything out there against the reigning premiers, who will now set themselves for a trophy lift. But everything that they left out there just wasn't enough. And the Mount Druitt Town Rangers, as things stand, will return to Football New South Wales League One in 2026. And while they will live to regret the games that have slipped them by in previous weeks, against the weight of serious odds today, they gave themselves a fighting chance from a long way back. They were a man down and a goal down at the halftime break. Danilo Montero sent off. Harry Keese getting the opening goal. And it looked as though they were drawing dead in their chances of survival. Then Thomas Lopez stepped up with a worldie of a free kick that gave them hope. And they did have the chances to win this game outright, but couldn't make it happen even after a second yellow for Michael Conestabro. And so Spirit will go on to lift an incredible premiership here at Popondetta Park. And their 11-game unbeaten run will remain alive into the finals. But there is still some difficult problems to work out heading into the postseason for David Perkovic, as it comes to a heartbreaking end for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. We sign off from the final day of the regular season. We hope that despite the difficulties of the Town Rangers, you've enjoyed the drama. The full-time score, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 1, NWS Spirit 1. And make sure you stick around because there is a brief break in the coverage now, but you can rejoin us in a few minutes' time for the Premiership Trophy lift that Spirit will be getting into very shortly. But from myself, Lockie Flanagan, it's good afternoon and good evening for now.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the final regular season round of NPL New South Wales Women's between the Mount Druitt Town Rangers and Northwest Sydney Spirit at Popondetta Park, Emerton in Sydney's southwest. Melissa